Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and one of my favorite movies is Hoosiers, the basketball movie about the high school basketball team from Indiana. One of my favorite lines out of that movie is when, is it Dennis Hopper? I believe he was the guy that played the drunk guy that was one of the players' dads, and he was put in charge of coaching the team at the end of one of the games, and he says, now we're going to run the picket fence. And he said, now don't get caught watching the paint dry. And so what I say to you all out there is, yeah, we had a little pullback last week, but this crypto thing at some point is going to just go completely ape and blast off. And so don't get caught watching the paint dry is what I would say to you, because at some point, the greatest digital asset ever created is going to become is going to show you what it's actually worth. It's not reflected in this. And this price right here is not anywhere close to what this thing is worth. And at some point, what it's worth is going to be really reflected. And you don't want to be caught watching the paint dry. It's not worth 24 cents. It's worth a lot more than that. This is remember, the goal is to become a global reserve digital currency. That's the simple goal, as stated by Miguel Valles. I'm drinking some Diet Dr. Pepper, by the way. Okay, let's move along. Now, CSTAT brought to my attention that there are some regulations. All of a sudden, the accelerator is being hit on regulations. And this, if you remember, is Ron Hammond, who worked for Warren Davidson on the Token Taxonomy Act. But guess where he went to work? That would be Ripple. So he tweeted this out today. Great day for blockchain legislation. Awesome work moving this forward on the staff level. And this is Bill Rockwood, who I have no idea who that is. But this is U.S. Representative Darren Soto that he's tweeting out. Darren Soto's tweet. Today, I'm joining Energy Commerce to mark up and pass 38 bills, including Digital Taxonomy Act and Blockchain Innovation Act as amendments to H.R. 8128. Together, we will ensure America remains a leader in blockchain technology for the 21st century. Folks, things are happening. Watch this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today, we will include parts of the Digital Taxonomy Act and all of the Blockchain Innovation Act in H.R. 8128, the Consumer Safety Technology Act. As many of you know, blockchain technology is an exciting new technology to help preserve data, help with transactions, help with the defense of our country, communications, and first, we see in the Blockchain Innovation Act that'll direct the Department of Commerce in consultation with the FTC to conduct a study and submit to Congress a report on the state of blockchain technology and commerce, including its use to reduce fraud and increase security. This is along the way to our long-term goal of setting up a blockchain center of excellence within the Commerce Department, and parts of H.R. 2154, which would require the FTC to submit to Congress a report and recommendations on unfair and deceptive trade practices in digital tokens. This is also along the road to setting up a jurisdiction between the SEC, the CFTC, and the FTC. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You can see pretty clearly it's happening, folks. Okay, so now let's move along. Stewart XRP sent me this. This is from Squawk Box. And this guy is Stanley Druckenmiller. I've played videos from this guy at the Economic Club of New York. Let's watch what he has to say. He's talking about the economy, the Fed, I guess.
Start with Kevin's op-ed piece, and this has been a theme for a while. The Fed is a big part of our lives. Might be great for Wall Street, not necessarily great for Main Street. Where are we right now, Stan?
Well, Kevin has written a lot of great articles in the last few years, so I'd say it's a very high bar, but personally, I think it was his best piece ever. And I think the merging of the Fed and the Treasury, which is effectively what's happening during COVID, sets a precedent that, well, we've never seen since the Fed got their independence. And it's obviously creating a massive raging mania in financial assets. And as you just pointed out, Joe, it has not spilled over to Main Street. I would just say that I hear a lot of people on the air applauding Jay Powell, saying he saved the world. And I do think he did a great job in March. I think the follow-up's been excessive. And I just want all you guys cheering him on to remember the maestro in 2005 and how that worked out. Look, everybody loves a party. Jeff loves a party. Mommy loves a party. I love a party. I assume you guys love a party. But inevitably, after a big party, there's a hangover. And right now, we're in an absolute raging mania. We've got commentators on your network encouraging companies to do stock splits. Companies then go up 50%, 30, 40%, big market cap companies on stock splits. As Andrew pointed out early in your show today, that creates no value, but the stocks go up.
Start with.
So he's warning everybody. It's pretty obvious what's going on. Then Jim Rickards tweets this out. Fed will announce next week they will not raise interest rates until inflation hits 2% or higher on a sustained basis. Okay. According to the Fed's own pandemic economic research, with a time series back to 1350 AD, aka the Black Death, that should be around 2050. Seriously. This craziness going on. Michelle Vandenberg sent this from Ian Northing. The Fed now owns nearly 1/3 of all U.S. mortgages. Mishtalk, Global Economic Trend Analysis, 1/3 of all U.S. mortgages. Almost like they're planning for something. And then there's this from Sergeant Obi-Wan. Venezuela reportedly blocks its citizens from accessing Coinbase. Reports from Venezuela appear to indicate that the government has blocked the United States-based crypto exchange platform Coinbase. The claims were made by multiple Twitter users, although the government is yet to make a statement on the matter. So these are like Twitter rumors, but well, if you were a government and didn't want your citizens to have access to something like Bitcoin in limited amount, and you wanted them to have to be in your fiat currency, you might do the same thing. The fiat currency that you have turned into trash, literal trash. CoinDesk payments giant Mastercard now has a testing platform that allows central banks to simulate the issuance, distribution, and utility of digital currencies. Now, every once in a while, somebody puts out like a summary of things that I think is worth your looking at, and this is one of them. Cuervo, as in Jose, I guess. Cuervo XRP. Just wanted to share. I've compiled highlights from our incredible community contributors to share with newbies. And it's like a Google Doc that this guy put together. Crypto starter kit. He's got Ripple board of advisors, governments and central banks. I'll show you some of the things that I thought were pretty interesting. He's got what is that? XRP, where David Schwartz talks about it. This is from the Everest presentation that I've shown you, their timeline. The plan, Christine Lagarde, Mark Carney, Judy Shelton quotes. He's got some screen grabs here that are interesting to look at. Major financial institution involvement, Grayscale, who runs Ripple. As you go down, global leader involvement, IMF, all kinds of stuff here. Global leader docs. This is that document from, I think it was the World Economic Forum, where it showed examples of interbank payments and settlement, interbank payments and settlement, crypto assets, JP Morgan Coin and XRP. I remember that. Then as you go down here, valuation models, YouTubers, documentaries. And then I like this section down here, important screenshots. This is Jess Chung. I showed you this just last week. Brian Brooks. It shows LinkedIn screenshot. Here's another one I can't read. Stuart Alderati shows that he was at CIT Group. Steve Mnuchin, I didn't even know he had a LinkedIn page. And then as you go down, it's got there's Stuart Alderati, and then Steve Mnuchin, Christopher Giancarlo. I mean, the freaking list goes on and on and on and on. I haven't even looked closely at these. I might need to go and check out some of his slides down here after the fact. Okay, I Am Legion has pointed out some coincidences, right? Swift works with Accenture on DLT since 2014. Accenture works with multiple countries to develop CBDCs, Sweden, US, and more. Swift partners with R3 on DLT. SIA partners with R3 on DLT. SIA and R3 NTT data brings solution to 200 Italian banks. BOE tests ILP, BOJ tests ILP, ECB tests ILP, Hyperledger Quilt, NTT data, QNT Ripple using ILP. QNT partners with Ripple and Hyperledger Quilt. QNT partners with SIA. Accenture partners with Ripple. Swift completes cross-border payments workshop. Ripple and others. Ripple XRP integrated in core to settler. But I'm 100% sure these are all coincidences. He is exactly right. There are no coincidences, folks. Sean Michael sent me this. Barry Silbert had tweeted this out this morning. Big news from DCG, Digital Currency Group today. I'll be on Squawk Box at 6:45. The announcement is Digital Currency Group. They've acquired Luno Money. By joining forces, we are accelerating the creation and adoption of better, more accessible financial system. And here's some Barry Silbert clips from Squawk Box this morning.
Fair market value.
And by the way, for those of you that don't know, Digital Currency Group, Barry Silbert is the CEO. Digital Currency Group was one of the first investors in Ripple and Coinbase, and they have Glenn Hutchins on their board. They got Larry Summers as an advisor. Okay.
Value of Bitcoin. I mean, this is maybe the existential philosophical question here, but what do you honestly think it is, and how would you even decide how you were going to value it?
We look at Bitcoin as the next generation's version of gold. Gold is a $8-9 trillion asset class, and so I think over time Bitcoin is going to capture a larger and larger portion of that asset class. Look, Bitcoin is a couple $100 billion in value, and when you start having investors like Paul Tudor Jones and Mark Lazary and Chamath Palihapitiya, saying, hey, look, it's okay to put 50, 100 basis points in this asset class. It really doesn't take a lot of money to move a large amount of the gold market into the Bitcoin market.
What's the fair market value of Bitcoin?
Okay, I thought that was a pretty interesting clip. And then this one's also pretty good. Listen to this.
Think of Dave Portnoy and his comments about Bitcoin?
He's a entertaining guy, and look, I think it's fantastic that he's bringing his followers into the asset class, whether they're buyers or sellers. More liquidity is good, and look, ultimately, most people, once you fall in love with Bitcoin, you tend to stick with it.
No, not me.
Do you worry though about how educated those folks are going to be about this class, or is the whole idea you just want more people to know about it?
Well, Luno is focused on education. It's focused on bringing the next billion people into Bitcoin. So we're looking forward to helping them make that happen.
I'm all for that, by the way. Let's bring another billion people into it. XRP Crypto Wolf, Ripple partner Flare CEO Hugo Filion said the FXRP system allows for the decentralized or trustless issuance of XRP on Flare. So what that means is that you have XRP on Flare networks, and that then allows you to use XRP with smart contracts. Okay, something I ran across today that I had no idea. This is just random, but I wanted to show it to you. This guy right here is asking Elon Musk, we need the name. We literally need it. This is from back, this is like in May. And Elon Musk replies, mom and baby are all good. So he had a baby. And then they said they wanted a name. Elon Musk's baby, the name that they gave the baby is XA12 Musk. And that is not a joke. I actually watched a video where he said that was true. XA12 Musk. X, of course, I guess because of SpaceX, but this was what the A-12 is. He said it in an interview I watched. The CIA had done Lockheed. This was a project. The Lockheed A-12 was a high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft built for the U.S. by the CIA back in the day. But anyway, they called it the Archangel. But he named his child X A-12 after that thing. And X, I guess, after SpaceX. Now, Steve Goldbronson made me aware of a very serious article. Digital asset investors' noisy kids ruin Link2 quarterly meeting. It says, and the additional partnerships we've been able to secure will, said Link2's Greg Kidd during meeting as he tried to ignore screaming that got even louder in his microphone. I'm sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Sorry, that's my bad, said DAI. Kids, quiet down in there. Do you want to be picking up pine cones the rest of the day? Sorry, Greg, let me tell you, I've got to deal with this stuff every day. And then it says down here that eventually, this is my favorite part, eventually Kidd gathered his thoughts and carried on with the meeting when a sharp noise from a lawnmower outside Digital Asset Investor's home broke his concentration again up. You know what? He said, Kidd, let's just reschedule this meeting. I thought that was great. This guy, you got to go. He's got this coil blog. This is parodied, folks. XRP, the Standard Productions. Give him a follow. Go read his blog. He is something else. He's a trip. Makes me laugh all the time. These kids, and trust me, these kids do fight. And when they're in quarantine, they fight all the time. And I do make them pick up pine cones. It's a normal thing around here. They hate it too. I have a lot of pine cones. Georgia pines, you've heard that. All right, I want to remind everybody in the description of all my videos, Ledger Nano S, you can get them for 20% off. They're having a back-to-school sale right now. Promo code back-to-school. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button. Tell your friends and family that my kids messed up the Link2 meeting. And by the way, if you haven't checked out Link2, they just sold out of their Ripple SPV. I think they've got some Uphold sitting up there, but this stuff goes fast. That's linqto.com. Thanks for watching.
Every day, billions of people around the world are mocked, ridiculed, laughed at, and embarrassed by their friends, family, and even strangers. These people go through their days knowing there are secrets being kept from them. They hear the faint whispers behind closed doors. The information and knowledge is held very close and only shared with others who were fortunate enough to find out. Feeling lost, rejected, and ostracized, these people give up, never finding out what digital assets the digital asset investor holds. But there is hope. Join the free Digital Asset Investor email newsletter and find out what digital assets he owns each month, including investments he's considering. Click the link in the description of this video or go to digitalassetinvestornewsletter.com. Put an end to your days of gloom and depression. Join the greatest free digital asset email newsletter ever created.